back again. Today we are going to talk about branched chain amino acids, or for short, BCAA. We're going to cover a few bullet points, as you can see, how it deals with muscle gain, muscle protein synthesis, as well as reduction of catabolism within the muscle, recovery, uses, and options. So to first start, we are going to talk about the muscle. BCAAs, or the big three amino acids, leucine, valine, and isoleucine, are pretty much the makeup of all protein, which is a energy source for muscular development, everything like that. So ingesting BCAAs will help reduce the catabolism that comes from training, caloric deficit, dieting, any of that. So you will need to supplement that if you restrict your protein in order to keep muscle and build muscle in the process, or just maintenance. Next is recovery. It will aid with overall inflammation. It will aid in the repair of your muscle, so you can train harder, longer throughout the week, depending on your cycle. Depends on how much of the BCAA product you need. That can range in variation from person to person, depending on their athletic performance, training schedule, everything like that. So it kind of varies dependent on you, me, anyone that is taking it. Uses come in multiple forms. You have, like I touched on earlier, the build of muscle. So if someone is trying to, say, quote, mass gain, or put on a little bit of muscular size, it is better to ingest a higher amount of BCAA combined with like your protein supplements and or your food, just for the fact that eating whole foods will benefit you better, obviously, than supplements. But if you add it to that, you will see a greater increase in muscular development. So you'll see that translate into whatever sport you're doing, say here in the gym, or outside playing with your kids, or anything like that, any extracurriculars that you're going towards. Also, it has been shown in a few studies to actually aid with immune health. So say if you're sick, working out can kind of beat your immune system down. Obviously, we all know that. We feel beat up here sometimes. We feel kind of lethargic, everything like that. It'll actually help increase energy production, as well as in that time of sickness, you usually kind of lose a little bit of strength, muscle, just because you're not, one, wanting to eat a lot, or two, train as hard, things like that. It'll help kind of reduce that. And lastly, to move on to the other options, there's a few different ways that you can do that. You can take the BCAAs in a plain form, so just the big three, leucine, valine, and isoleucine. And particularly, you would want to find that in a 2 to 1 to 1 ratio, which, say, for example, 2 grams of leucine to 1 gram of valine to 1 gram of isoleucine. Or if you wanted to increase, just make sure that ratio is intact. So like 5 grams of leucine taking roughly 2 grams of valine and 2 grams of isoleucine. Also, especially for athletes in this gym, make sure that it is stacked with electrolytes. Most importantly, your potassium, magnesium, those two, just to aid with kind of your muscle regularity, the water balance, everything like that you'll need in the gym in order to perform at your highest degree. So those are just a few options, a few different little tidbits on it. So if y'all do have any more questions, come ask myself, come ask any of the coaches here at CrossFit High Performance, and yeah, good training.